Hey guys, welcome back to Grovesters, and we are packing for the third day in a row. So let's see if we can keep this ball rolling. Maybe we can pack every day this week. Hopefully, it would be great if sales were that high. It's been really great this week, and this quarter obviously has been great, but this last 2 weeks has been, everything's been hitting pretty good. So first up, we have this new sealed in box Disney Cranium. We picked this up at a thrift store. I believe we paid like $5 for it. And anytime it's like a new sealed game or puzzle or something, as long as the price is lower, they're always worth picking up because people like to buy these for like gifts. I assume this one's probably going to be like a Christmas present or something because I don't know, it's kind of like buying on Amazon, but not. You get the new stuff. So we picked it up for, I believe, $5 at the thrift store. And I had it listed for $45. They offered $25. I kind of looked at the other ones. There was some listed for around $30 and $24. And then there were some listed for higher than mine at $49. And it's kind of hard when there's a whole bunch like that are listed all around the same price as yours and some lower. And so you never know. You don't want to lose a sale and then they buy the cheaper one and then yours just sits. So we had some back and forth and counter offers and we agreed on $30 plus shipping. So $5 to $30 is not bad at all. So next up, these are like my favorite. I had nowhere to put these. I really wish I had more room for vintage Christmas stuff. But they're little pine cone elves and gnomes, and there's like a whole set of them. So I had 6 of them, and these came from that big lot of Department 56 stuff that I bought. They were actually in a Department 56 house, and they are so cute. Like kind of creepy cute though. But they sell for a lot. Some people sell them individually. I decided to just lot them up as a group instead. And so I put them all 6 up for $99.99. I had somebody send me an offer for like, I think she sent an offer for $60 originally. And I didn't want to go that low on them because they tend to sell around $20 a piece. And I was going to take them out of the lot if they weren't selling and just sell them individually. And then she sent me a message and said, sorry, I just can't do, I had sent an offer back for like $89. And she said, sorry, I just can't do that high right now, but I really want them. I had these as a kid. And I remember buying them from like the little store or whatever. And it was just kind of a nice little story. So I settled with her on a price of $79.99 for 6 of them, which is actually a great deal for both of us. I sell all 6, get some good money off of them. She gets them for less than it would cost to buy them individually. And because they were in all those houses, there's really no cost for me because I didn't expect these guys. I was buying it for the house, and we just kind of bought the lot out because there were so many of them. We weren't really going through them. I had kind of checked a couple of them to make sure that they were in decent condition, and they were all pretty good condition. It was more like the ones I hadn't checked all had like little surprises in them, little figurines or little extra things that had been stored in them. And so for basically no money into these, they were kind of like free to $79.99 plus shipping. Not a bad deal overall. So I have some Pier 1 ornaments. These little trains. So there's 2 trains. And I believe I sold them together as a lot. If you can see, this one's missing its little star on the top. So I sold them together as a lot. I sent an offer out on it for $13.50. and the lady took it. It was like 10% off. And then the same lady, I sent her an offer on this Pier 1 ornament, and it sold for $10.80. So I probably could have sold the trains for a little more, but all three of them are going to the same buyer. They were all good buys. I bought them in boxes of having like 4 or 5 ornaments for $3. So it was under $1 per ornament. So basically, we'll overestimate and say $3 for all of them. And for all 3 of them together, I sold them for what? $24 for all 3 off of $3. So that's a pretty good little flip there. Pier 1, they're not around anymore, but people really liked them and they used to buy their stuff a lot. So they're actually, I pick them up a lot if I recognize them. A lot of times they don't have like markings on them that say Pier 1. I just happened to like look at these and thought, oh, those look cool. Those will probably sell. And then I got them home and I lensed them and they were Pier 1. So it worked out. Pier 1 kind of have like distinctive looks to them sometimes. I'm trying to get better about recognizing that they're Pier 1 ornament or not. But the biggest thing that's going to be your friend with them is going to be Google lensing them. And if it says it's a Pier 1 ornament, then it's going to be a pretty good pickup. They should sell pretty good for you. So those are always worth picking up. That's a brand. They're not like a high dollar brand like Radco, but they're a brand that's worth picking up if you see them because they sell pretty well and they sell pretty consistently. And most of the time, if I have Pier 1 ornaments, the same buyer will buy multiple of them. So they sell pretty fast. You can combine ship. Makes the whole process nicer. Some fun Christmas ornaments. These are Christmas classics. They're European. Anytime you see the European glass, Poland specifically, made in the USA, those are all things that I tend to go after. Those are the brands. They're usually going to be a brand that somebody's looking for. If it says European on it or Poland or USA, they're going to be something that somebody wants. So Christmas classics, European craftsmen, pick these up for like $1 at an estate sale. They sold for $13.96 plus shipping. These are a fun pickup. I was actually just complaining about these. I picked up a ton of these and they sold really good at first and then they just kind of stalled. They're little string light covers and they're super cute. So you could use them on a Christmas tree. That might be what they're doing. I don't know. These usually sell really well for outdoor like trailers. People like to put them on their camping trailers or whatever. They have the string lights that they hang out. So I picked up a lot of these from an estate sale. It seemed like they had a ton of them for camping or like a motorhome or something. And I paid like $1 a bag of them, and I got all just different kinds of these. And initially they sold pretty well, and then they've just sat. I have a whole bunch of holiday ones and like guitars and different things. And these ones I got an offer on, and because they've just sat for a minute and I wanted to kind of move them, I went ahead, took the offer. So $15 for this set of 10 of them. So not a bad deal on these. $1 to 10, and I actually think this box had 2 sets in it. So it was probably more like 50 cents to $15. All right, and last thing is the Santa cookie jar. So this is one of the things that when we first started reselling, we had this and we bought some cookie jars and they sold really well. And so then it kind of like encourages you to keep buying. Sorry, I'm double checking this ad. I always double check what I'm selling before I send it out. Make sure that the ad is correct and that the item is clean. I just noticed there's like a big chip in this, and I'm looking at the ad and it describes it as having the chip, and it shows a picture of the chip. So then that kind of covers me. The cookie jar has some chips inside the edge of the canister. So that covers me so that when it gets there, they already know that that's an issue. So that's good. That's perfect. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, so back to the cookie jars. When we first started reselling, I picked up some vintage cookie jars and they sold really well. And for like decent money for what I was buying them for, I was buying them for like $3 a piece or something. And they were selling for, in the $20 range. So it was great. It was a perfect pickup for us. So then we kept picking up cookie jars for a while. And then they just kind of stalled out. And I think part of that is because I was picking up the ones that sold were brands, like higher brands. I bought some of the Blue Sky ones, and those sold pretty good. And I had like some vintage ones that had the boxes like Humpty Dumpty and stuff like that. So I think they sold because of that, not necessarily like the market laid off. It was, I got good ones, and then the ones that haven't sold are just like no-name brands or something. So they've really cooled off with the ones that we have. So I haven't picked up any new ones because they haven't been selling. So I was like, I'm not going to keep buying cookie jars if they're not selling. But I think probably part of the problem is I'm not buying the right ones. Like everybody knows the names McCoy and stuff like that, but they just don't sell, and they don't sell for that much money. I've had McCoys and they just sit forever. So if you sell cookie jars or collect cookie jars, give me some of the names of some of the better, like more high-end cookie jars that people would actually be looking for that might sell a little quicker. I don't know. I might start picking up cookie jars again. I pick up Hallmark ones because they sell. But this one, we only bought it for like $3 and sold it for $18.99 after it sat for probably a year, because it sat through last Christmas. And it sat through last Christmas because I probably had it priced higher than people were willing to pay for it. So this is another item that I was kind of complaining about. Doesn't really sell well, but I really think the reason some of these aren't selling well for me is just my knowledge on the brands. I feel like cookie jars are a little more specific to people, so you have to have certain brands for them. So let me know in the comments what you guys like, what you want to see in the future, and thanks for tuning in.